All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on an architectural tour of something truly incredible, one of the most amazing biological machines ever engineered, the human eye. We're going to break down exactly how it's built, from the outside in. I mean, think about it. We use our eyes every single second we're awake, but have you ever really stopped to wonder how they're built? Because it's not just some simple organ, right? It's this stunning piece of high-tech biological architecture. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Think of this as an architectural tour. We'll start with the heavy-duty protection way on the outside, and then we're going to work our way in to the really delicate sensors deep inside this amazing camera. Okay, so our tour has 4 main stops. First, we'll check out the eye's incredible protective fortress. Then we'll start peeling back the layers of the eyeball itself. After that, we'll step into the inner sanctum, and we'll finish up with a look at the eye's mind-blowing precision steering system. All right, first up, the fortress. You know, before we even get to the eye, we have to talk about the incredible structure that houses and protects it. And that is the bony orbit. So your eyeball isn't just, floating around in your head. No way. It's tucked safely inside this strong, pyramid-shaped cavity. And get this, it's formed by the seamless fusion of 7 different bones, all coming together to create this perfectly shaped, protective home for each eye. And these aren't just random bits of your skull. We're talking about 7 distinct bones, from your cheekbone all the way to deep inside your cranium, and they all interlock with amazing precision. Honestly, you don't need to memorize the names. What's truly amazing here is this dedicated team of bones, all working together to build the perfect socket. But this fortress has a weak spot, a hidden vulnerability. Its floor. It's paper thin. So if you get an impact, say, from a baseball, that floor can just shatter. They call it a blowout fracture. And it's bad news because it can actually trap the eye's muscles, which can cause double vision. It's a really stark reminder that even this brilliant architecture is also incredibly delicate. All right, now that we've made it past those fortress walls, let's get to the main event, the eyeball itself. The best way to think about it is like a high-tech sphere, built in 3 distinct concentric layers. It's kind of like peeling an onion, and we're about to peel them back one by one. So the eyeball is essentially made of these 3 concentric coats, and each one has a very specific job. The outer coat, that's for structure. The middle layer provides all the nourishment, and that inner layer, that's what does the actual sensing. So structure, nourishment, sensing. Pretty simple, right? Let's break it down. Okay, let's start with that outer coat. It's actually made of 2 very different parts. First, you've got the sclera. That's the tough white part of your eye, the shell that gives the whole eyeball its shape. But if you trace it around to the very front, that same tissue magically transforms into the cornea, a perfectly clear, transparent window that does most of the eye's light focusing. It's such an elegant design, right? One layer doing 2 vital but completely different jobs. Okay, so just beneath that outer shell is layer 2, the uvea. You can think of this as the eye's life support system. It's packed with blood vessels in a part called the choroid, which nourishes the sensor. It also has the ciliary body, this tiny muscle that flexes to adjust our focus. And of course, it includes the iris. That's the colorful part of your eye that acts just like a camera's aperture, opening and closing to control how much light gets in. And finally, we reach the innermost layer, the retina. Now this is where the magic really happens. It's this incredibly thin sheet of neural tissue. It's literally an extension of the brain itself that lines the entire back of the eye. Its only job is to act like the film or the sensor in a camera, instantly converting photons of light into the electrical signals that the brain can understand. Okay, so we've seen the 3 walls of the eyeball, but what's actually inside this camera body? What's filling the space between all those layers? Well, the inside isn't empty at all. It's filled with these remarkable substances. You've got the flexible lens, which sits right behind the iris and handles all the fine-tuning for your focus. Then there's the vitreous body, this clear gel that fills most of the eyeball and gives it that plump, spherical shape. And finally, there's the aqueous humor, a watery fluid that's constantly circulating in the front chambers, bringing nutrients to parts like the cornea that don't have their own blood supply. So we have our protected camera, but how do we aim it? And that brings us to the final stop on our tour, the incredibly sophisticated muscle system that steers the eye. Every single movement your eye makes, from tracking a bird in the sky to just reading this text right now, is controlled by a team of 6 special muscles, the extraocular muscles. They work in perfect, beautiful harmony to give you an incredible range of motion with just pinpoint precision. So let's meet the team. You've got 4 rectus muscles that basically act like simple police, moving the eye straight up, down, left, and right. Super straightforward. But the real finesse, the artistry, comes from the 2 oblique muscles. They handle all the complex twisting and rotational movements. It's the perfect coordination between all 6 that lets you follow any object so smoothly. And here's where the engineering gets even cooler. The brain doesn't treat all these muscles the same. While most of them share a nerve, 2 of them, the superior oblique and the lateral rectus, get their own dedicated private nerve line. It's like they have VIP status, and this allows for that incredibly fine-tuned control that's just essential for complex vision. And check this out. Here is a perfect testament to elegant biological design. Almost all of these muscles don't just attach randomly around the eye. Nope. They originate from a single, common anchor point, this tendinous ring at the very back of the eye socket called the annulus of Zinn. It is an incredibly efficient design, having one anchor point to generate all of this complex movement. And we have to mention one more muscle. It doesn't move the eyeball, but it's just as important, the levator muscle. Its only job is to lift your upper eyelid. Now, if the nerve that controls it gets damaged, the eyelid can't lift properly and you get a droopy eyelid, a condition you might have heard of called ptosis. It's just a clear reminder of how every single part of this system is absolutely crucial. So let's just pull back and bring it all together. What we really have here isn't just a collection of random parts. It's a completely, seamlessly integrated system. You've got a bony fortress for protection, a 3-layered high-tech camera for sensing, and a 6-muscle precision steering system for aiming, all of it working together in perfect, silent synchrony. So the next time you just open your eyes, take a second, now that you've been on the tour and you've seen the architecture, maybe you can appreciate that what's happening isn't just seeing. It's a complex, beautiful symphony of bone, tissue, fluid, and muscle, all performing a masterpiece of biological engineering. Thanks for joining this explainer.